Our first presenter is Dave Groot, president of Windstar Technologies. David, a well-known and respected expert in IT and cybersecurity specialist for small to mid-sized companies. He is the president of Windstar Technologies based here in Culpeper and has been serving local businesses for over 25 years. In addition to being an IT specialist, David is also a trainer, a public speaker, and the author of the book, The Threat is Real: How to Protect You and Your Family from the Global Threat of Cybercrime. Without further ado, I will pass it to Dave Groot, president of Windstar Technologies, to start the program. Dave, thank you for joining us today.
Morning, Jeff. Good morning, all. As I said, I'm Dave Groot, president and CEO of Windstar Technologies. We've been here in Culpeper for 25 years providing IT services to small business. We're family owned and operated, and we're really happy to be able to be here today with you. A little history. I can remember back in '94 when we started, and the internet was this brand new service in town. No one knew what it was, and most doubted that it would be here for more than a couple of years. I can clearly recall having to convince business owners and community leaders that having something like an email address was a good thing. I was trying to get them to understand it was the way we were going to be communicating with one another in the future. And trust me, that concept was met with quite a bit of skepticism. A few raised eyebrows did not stop me from standing in front of the business owners and insisting this is the way of the future. Today, when I hear from business owners, it's mostly now because their email isn't working and how much they can't get through their day or their life without it. A few months ago, if I would have come into your office and said, look, you need to get your business prepared for things like a major pandemic, you would have looked at me like I was a little crazy, and you would have probably sent me packing. But in just a few short months' time, our community has drastically changed. Our vibrant economy has all but disappeared, and small businesses everywhere have been struggling to be productive, and some even in existence. Today, we're going to hear from several community leaders about how COVID-19 has affected our community. We will hear about some of the great stories and some of the great things that our community has achieved. We will also hear how we were not prepared or didn't see this coming. They will be correct. Our community didn't see this coming. We will hear stories about how this crisis was different than most. You see, usually when we have a crisis, a hurricane, a flood, it affects a small region or a small area. This crisis, however, affected everybody, everywhere, all at the same time. Nobody was prepared. Overnight, COVID-19 caused businesses to deploy technologies, policies, and resources to help enable employees to work remote. This rapid rollout and the resulting confusion has left many businesses and their employees vulnerable to the constant changing threat landscape. Attackers have consistently leveraged current world events to their advantage by evolving their tactics, techniques, and procedures to bypass our perimeter defenses. In many ways, the current crisis resembles another threat to our community: cybercrime. Like the coronavirus, cybercrime also knows no boundaries. The hackers, the nation states, and the organized syndicates behind these malicious acts do not practice social distancing. They do not take a day off. Instead, they wait for times such as these where people are distressed or distracted while fighting something like a pandemic or any other disaster we face, and they seize the moment. It's at these times that we start to see huge spikes and increase in attacks. The pandemic has forced companies to decide how they want to temporarily starve themselves of resources. And with past recessions telling us most businesses won't fully recover, we need to consider ways to change our business culture, including permanently shifting some work to remote teams and decentralizing decision-making. It'll be a hybrid workforce with rotating schedules, some working from home, some in the office, and then rotating. We have all spent these last weeks self-quarantined, and finally, we are starting to see us get back out to living our lives, though not the way we used to. The new business casual dress code means wearing a mask or a shield and maintaining your social distance. We now have to consider, while we're thinking about going out to eat, not where we're going, but will it be outside or takeout? When can we go see a movie or have our next family gathering? Will next year be more of the same, or will we finally get past this crisis? As we begin the process of recovering and getting back to work, there will be a need to reconsider or evaluate the way we work. We need to be prepared to adjust our schedules, or prepared for another few weeks of stay at home. Where we go from here will depend on our ability to adjust to the new normal and our ability to maintain a safe distance or to avoid infection. It will depend on us having a vaccine or another way to control the virus. The threat of cybercrime demands the same kind of preparedness, the same protective measures. These threats must be managed as well. We need to be aware of the malicious emails and the attempts to get us to click on a link or open an attachment. We now need to protect our business data and our intellectual property in different ways than we used to. Now there is no office perimeter. Our workforce is dispersed. We are working from our homes and other remote locations. We've had to adjust the way we access the network and the data accordingly. It is no longer a matter of a good firewall or an antivirus program. We now need to have a good incident response plan. We now need to provide security awareness training to our staff to be better prepared for the attacks that they will ultimately face. We need to protect the endpoint, the computer, the mobile device, and the person. We now have new words added to our vocabulary, things like multi-factor, zero trust, conditional access, or VPN. The list goes on. Throughout the last few months, we at Winstar have been helping businesses to enable a remote workforce and to keep them secure and productive. We have helped them migrate their critical systems to the cloud, allowing them to take full advantage of the current technology and security. We have been helping businesses with this all along. It is our way, our commitment, to help business take advantage of their technology to the fullest of its potential. We welcome the opportunity to work with your current IT team and to provide direction on how to be better prepared. As we all begin to recover from the crisis we face today, we at Winstar are here to help. Feel free to reach out to us. Take 15 minutes time to see how we can assist you to be better prepared. Together, we can make IT happen. Thank you.